Hi everyone, this is Katie Thompson. My topic is wound care, addressing simple and appropriate ways to treat wounds at home. There are a number of social and environmental issues in Haiti, including poverty, overpopulation, substandard healthcare, and inadequate educational system. And Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. Healthcare is almost completely privatized, so the majority of Haitians rely on international humanitarian organizations for medical treatment and for preventative care. So that's why it's important to be able to educate Haitians to be able to do some wound care at home. One key issue that Kathy Faw mentioned in her slideshow was that people are crushing PO meds and putting them on wounds rather than taking the PO meds to treat the wounds. I think that's important to address, and in doing this discussion board, I saw that Michelle, who has the topic of antibiotics, is addressing that. One issue I'm having in trying to put something educational together is narrowing down what type of wound care to be addressing. In all my research, I'm still not entirely sure what they have access to. And in terms of water, it sounds like they get a lot of bottled water. Is that actually something reasonable to expect them to be using on wounds, or is that is that so scarce that they're using that just for drinking or other basic needs? So I'm just not entirely sure what supplies they have access to at home. So that's one thing I'm still trying to figure out. So if anybody has any helpful hints or a place to look up information on that, that would be helpful. So the spoken language there is Creole and French, but from my research, it's mainly the wealthier Haitians that speak French, and the wealthier Haitians are the ones that have access to the private medical care. So that's not the population that we're addressing. So Creole would be the language primarily spoken by our population. And the language is a barrier to education for wound care at home because I could translate, via the internet, but I don't speak Creole. So that's a barrier. Also, educational level of the population that we're serving is an issue. It's likely that not everybody can read, even if it is written in Creole. So I'm thinking for my project, pictures are probably the best option. And in trying to keep it simple, hopefully once I narrow down what type of wound care to address at home, trying to do a one-page brochure would be helpful, or one-page flyer. And if there's too many pictures and it's going to be too complicated to do on one page, then maybe a folding brochure if I need to address more than one type of wound care. My thought is that they probably don't have a lot of access to many supplies, so we're not probably going to be doing debriding and packing wounds and that kind of stuff, so it's probably going to be more addressing smaller issues, which will probably all have relatively the same solution. So I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. Thanks for listening, and any feedback would be helpful. Thank you.